You guys will have to excuse me. I just did a shot of Dustin Poirier's hot sauce, a whole shot of it. So my chest is burning right now. Yeah.
Did you talk about, same athletes, 6 months apart, right? How much of what we saw in January is a blueprint for what we're going to see on July? This is a random sport where chaos happens, right? But how much of that is a blueprint for what we're going to see on Saturday?
Well, we saw some chaos the first time. Conor looked pretty good coming out. Like, his boxing looked sharp. Dustin was able to make those adjustments and catch him with the leg kicks. But I think we're playing too much into the leg kicks because, that's just something that happened on the fly, and all it takes is like one or two to really change the dynamic of a fight. So I think we're playing a little bit too much into that. Thanks, RJ. But I think we're playing a little bit too much into that. I think that we're going to see the real Conor and the real Dustin come out. I think we're going to see takedowns. I think we're going to see a fight. I think it can become a dog fight at times. And if it does become a dog fight, that certainly favors Dustin.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, so much of the discussion has been the leg kicks, but you look at things on a deeper level. So when you look at that fight, what do you see that was the key?
Well, if you look at the first fight, Dustin came out with leg kicks in the first fight. Conor was able to avoid them with his movement. I think if Conor comes out with his movement this time, it's a completely different fight. But I think the key to that first fight really was the fact that I think Conor might have been a little shook that Dustin was able to take his punches. Conor relies on being able to hurt people. He's kind of a bully in fights. He relies on being able to hurt people and get people shook. And the fact that Dustin was able to take his punches and continue to fight him and stand up to him, I think that shook Conor a little bit. You saw it in his face. He was a little shook.
Yeah, obviously you know a thing or two about Dustin. What is it about him right now? He's been doing this game for so long, but it feels like he's peaking right now. Like there's something special about him right now. What is it about Dustin right now that's making him so successful?
Well, what it comes down to is really confidence and being comfortable in your own skin. And if you look at all the great champions, they're very comfortable in their own skin. They're very confident in what they do. They're very confident in what they can't do. They know what they're capable of, and they know what they're not capable of. Right now, we're looking at a very confident Dustin Poirier, a very relaxed Dustin Poirier, who's very good at what he does, and he knows what he's good at, and I think he's going to get to it tomorrow night.
Yeah. Last thing I have for you, let's talk about Conor. His mentality, like this thing that he has in his head and what he's done. Is that capable of overcoming maybe any technical deficiencies or any step, that he may be behind at this point? Like, is there something special within him that can will that, or is that not possible for the mentality to overcome the physical?
Well, it takes two to tango. Like, part of the allure with Conor McGregor used to be the mind games that he would play with people. So that would give him extra confidence, but also kind of zap some of the confidence of the other guy. And it takes two to tango. So the fact that it's not working against the other guy really can have an effect. And I don't think an effect in a good way for Conor. I think Conor needs the other guy to kind of fall into his trap in order for it to work. If you look at when he fought Diego Brandao, he had Diego Brandao wanting to kill him, and he made so many mistakes. When he fought Aldo wanted to kill him, and he made a crucial mistake. He gets guys to make mistakes with the mind games. The fact that it's not working now could be an issue.
Dean, over here.
Yes, sir.
Looking at the Greg Hardy, Tai Tuivasa fight, you've obviously worked with Greg a lot in the past. His comments leading up, he's calling out Deontay Wilder, Cyril Gane, Derek Lewis, and everything, and he still has to get through Tai first. So if you're his coach, are you just telling him to, let's cool off that talk during fight week, or are you just letting Greg be Greg?
Well, you let a fighter be the fighter that they are. It comes down to confidence and knowing who they are. And if that's who they are, you got to let them be who they are. It seems a little far-fetched for him to be talking about Deontay Wilder or anybody else because he's got a tough guy in front of him. So let's see what he does. Let's see how he reacts. I haven't worked with Greg since his last fight, so I don't know, but I know he's working with Rashad Evans, and Rashad Evans is a genius. His track record is proven. So let's see what he comes up with. I know Greg is a very fast learner, so let's see how he does.
Speaking of Rashad, he said he wants to come out of retirement, possibly fight Logan Paul in boxing. What do you make of that whole situation?
Listen, as long as these guys come out of retirement and do those, these crazy boxing matches, that's fine. But when they come out of retirement and do bare knuckle, to me, that's, bare knuckle is a graveyard for MMA fighters. It's crazy. Just don't let them come out and do that.
And then further down the card, Chris Montinho gets the short notice fight against Sean O'Malley. He said up until June, he was working 80 hours a week, had a paint company, then he quit, and now he's fighting Sean O'Malley on a Conor card. So if you're his coach, how do you prepare him mentally, or do you even watch tape on Sean O'Malley? You're just getting him ready for the best Chris possible out there.
Tell him to pray.
Dan over here.
Yes, sir.
Dan, at my house, we love the weigh-in shows. They're a big staple, but I want to know, why is there always so much cheating on those, man?
Because Daniel Cormier is a cheater. Everyone knows this. That boy will cheat on anything. Daniel Cormier is a bona fide cheater.
Did he cheat today?
Did he cheat today? Come on now. From the moment the camera was on to the moment it was off, the boy was cheating.
On a more serious note, a couple months ago, we spoke with one of your athletes, Jillian Robertson, and asked what makes Din Thomas different as a coach. And she said that compared to other coaches, he doesn't really teach us much, one size fits all, as much as what works specifically for you. That seems like it's very simple, but she said that's something just very special to you. Why do you think that's not more common in coaching?
Well, because it's not more common in coaching, because the dynamic of the structure of the way MMA has always been has been a team environment. And in a team environment, there's a big room with a lot of people. So what you do is you kind of cast a big net and the cream will rise to the top. And that's how you get the good fighters in the big gyms. But for me, it's never been about having a big gym and finding out who was the best in the gym. To me, it was about relationship and developing fighters, which is why I split from American Top Team, and I'm only working with Jillian and a few other fighters so that I could have a relationship and try to develop them. And in order to do that, it's a lot of work, a lot of scientific work in terms of study, analysis, and really trying to put it together for them.
Thank you.
Way
In the back.
Hi there, Din. So a couple of years ago, we saw Dana induct Vinny Pazienza into the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, someone that you know. Vinny's someone who just never seemed to get his flowers, even though he's five-time champion. Who in UFC do you think that people need to be paying attention to now and actually giving their flowers to? Seem to fly under the radar a little bit in these big fights.
To be honest with you, I'm going to tell you, I think Kamaru Usman is that guy. I think that he's often overlooked, but I think he's a great fighter. I mean, he's been able to beat everybody they put in front of him, and each time it's been more impressive. And the fact that everybody's saying that Wonder Boy is the hardest matchup for him is a discredit to Usman's ability to really adapt in fights and be a better fighter. So I think that's a discredit to Usman to say, oh yeah, Wonder Boy is the key to beating him. But we don't know that because they've never fought. And when has Usman not been able to adapt to an opponent and put him away? So I don't even know where that basis is. So I think Usman is the guy right now who I think people sleep on the most.
I have a question.
Oh, not the pink suit guy.
We got a radio show to do in about 20 minutes.
That is true. Let's go to our show.
Dean Thomas, do these people know that you were a barber in high school? Have you ever given a haircut as good as the one that you got yesterday? And which member of New Edition from 1985 would that cut be? Robbie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, or, of course, Ralph Tresvant?
Listen, I'm a sex symbol. That goes without saying. And I look like Bobby Brown right now with the little part. So, yeah, I'm going with Bobby Brown. Candy girl. Na-na-na-na. Look at the girl in the back dancing right behind John Morgan. Getting it. Yeah. Is that it? Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you.